Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this class, we shall discuss some important concept on conic. Okay, some important concept on conic. This concept is very useful for our NEP geometry syllabus. Concept of conic and different type of conic that we are going to discuss in this class. Now, to start with conic, at first consider a curve. Suppose this is a curve. Suppose there is a curve. Okay, any curve. Suppose there is a curve. And suppose that there is a point P whose coordinate is x comma y on this curve. So we are taking a curve and we are taking a point P x comma y on this curve. Okay. Suppose S is a point on the x-axis and this point is fixed. That means you can't take the point, you can't move the point. You can't move the point. This point S is totally a fixed point. Okay. So S is a fixed point, and suppose there is a straight line mm dash. There is a straight line dash which is also a fixed straight line, fixed. So my S point is fixed. You can't move the point S, and this straight line dash, it is also fixed. So which one is moving? That means which one is not fixed? Not fixed means it is moving. The moving point is P. The point P can move. That means the point can be here. The point P can be here. The point P can be here. The point P can be here, and so on. So in this way, this point P can be moved. See that this point can be moved. This point P can be here, can be here, can be here, can be here. But S is always a fixed point. S cannot move. So my S point is fixed and the straight line is also fixed. That means you can't shift the line from here to here. You can't shift. So only this point P x comma y is my moving point. That means position of P is not fixed. It's a very important concept. Okay. Now suppose we are taking the point P here. You can also take the point P here. You can also take the point P here. Okay. Okay, whatever you want, you can move the point P. But let us take the point P here. Now, the most important concept is, suppose the point P moves such that this point P moves such that the distance between SP and this distance between the line and the point P. Say this point is say some Q. This point P moves such a way that the distance between S and P. S is what? It's a fixed point. This point P moves such a way that the distance between S and P and the distance between P and Q and their ratio. We are taking the ratio of the distances SP and PQ. What is Q? Q is a point on this fixed straight line. And this point P moves such a way that the distance between S and P, the distance between P and Q, and this ratio is always fixed. This ratio is always fixed. For example, suppose that the point P moves such a way that this distance SP by PQ is always say some 2. Say some 2 or say some 1.5, anything, any point, any number. Say if the point P lies here, also then distance between S and P and distance between this P and Q is again 1.5. If the point P lies here, also the distance between S and P and now there is my P. There is my P. The distance between S and P. Say we are taking P here because P point is moving point. You can take P according to your convenience. Say if we take P here, the distance between S and P will be this, then distance between P and Q will be this. Also, the ratio of the distances SP by PQ is 1.5. That means, for any position of P, the distance between SP and PQ and their ratio is always a fixed number. It's always a fixed number. If you take the fixed number is 1.5, you can take the fixed number as 1, anything that you want. Okay. So what is the main story? The main story is the point P moves such a way that the ratio of the distances SP by PM is always a fixed number. If this condition hold, we say that this curve represents a conic. If this condition hold, implies the curve is a conic. So for conic, whatever be the position of P, the point P can lie here, can lie here, can lie here, can lie here. The ratio of the distances is always a fixed number. Okay? Whatever be the fixed number. So if this condition met, this curve is said to be a conic. Okay? Now, this fixed number. Now, in general, this fixed number is denoted by this E, and this E is called eccentricity. This E is called eccentricity of the conic. That means this fixed number is called what? The fixed number is called eccentricity of the conic. So this is the most important concept of the conic. Okay. Now, okay, so for conic, this ratio should be a fixed number. This fixed number is denoted by E. This is a standard symbol. This A is called eccentricity, that fixed number. Now, based on different values of E, we shall get different type of conics. Okay. Based on different values of E, we shall get different type of conic. Number 1. Suppose my E is 1. If my E is 1, that means SP by PQ, this ratio is always 1. Always. That means SP equal to PQ. If this condition hold, SP is equal to PQ. If this condition hold, this conic is said to be parabola. Most important curve for our NEP syllabus. If is E equal to 1, you shall get parabola. Number 2, it is also important, if E is less than 1, that means this ratio is less than 1. Say this ratio is 0.2, less than 1. Then this conic is said to be ellipse. This conic is said to be ellipse. And number 3, if my E is more than 1, say my value of E become 2.6, say, then this curve is said to be hyperbola. So these are important concepts. So these are different type of conic. Because they satisfy this condition, so they are said to be conic, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. Okay. If you have any concept, then you can WhatsApp me or you can comment in my YouTube channel. So we have discussed different type of conics. One is ellipse, another is parabola, and another is hyperbola. Now coming to this fixed point, and I again repeat, this P point is not fixed. This P point can be anywhere on this curve, anywhere. Now, there are some important concept. This fixed point, now coming to this fixed point S, this fixed point is said to be focus. This fixed point is said to be focus. So focus is a point from which the conic is generated. Focus is a point from which the conic is generated. মানে ফোকাস থেকে সমস্ত কনিক গুলোকে জেনারেট করা হয়. Every conic is generated from this point focus. Okay. So this fixed point S, we said that this fixed point S is said to be focus. Number 2, what about this fixed line? This fixed line mm dash. This fixed line, what is the definition of this fixed line. This fixed line is said to be directories or directories. Directories or directories, whatever you call. So this fixed line is said to be directories. Number 3, the point where the curves meet the axis. The point where the curve meet the axis is called, it is axis, basically these are plural form. So the the point where the curves meet the axis is called vertex. See that at this point, you can see that at this point, these curves meet the axis. This is my axis, x-axis and y-axis. This is my y-axis. You can easily see that at this point, this curve meet the axis. That means this point is said to be vertex. Some important definition, okay? From this graph, you can easily understand the entire concept of conic, okay? After watching this video, you can clear your concept on conic. But again, repeat, we are discussing the basic concept. We are not going into detail. আমরা details এ কিছু আসছি না, just a concept for NEP geometry syllabus. Okay, just a important concept for NEP syllabus. We are not going into any proof because we don't have any proof in our syllabus. We are just clearing our concept on different type of conics. So I again draw this diagram. This was my curve, and this was my fixed point. This was my moving point, px comma y. This is my x. Now, suppose that a straight line is passing through these pointers. Suppose there is a straight line. Say this is my RR dash. Suppose RR dash, there is what? There is simply a straight line passing through S. Passing through S. Then the straight line is said to be focal chord. Focal chord. So focal chord is simply a straight line. This focal chord is simply a straight line. Any chord is simply a straight line. Onek students er concept ta weak ache. What is chord? Chord is simply a straight line. So this chord passing through the focus, you can see that we know that this is my focus. This S point is my called focus. Focus is the point from which the conic is generated. যেখান থেকে তোমার কনিকটা জেনারেট করা হয়। মেইন পয়েন্টে হচ্ছে তোমার ফোকাস। So যাই হোক, so this straight line is passing through the focus. So the straight line is said to be focal chord. So what is focal chord? Focal chord is a chord, a straight line that passing through the focus. Now this is very, very important. Now consider another focal chord. Now consider another focal chord. Suppose this focal chord is LL dash. What is the difference between LL dash and RR dash? Okay, just pause the video and answer it. What is the difference between RR dash and LL dash? Answer is LL dash is perpendicular to focus, but RR dash is not perpendicular to the focus. See that it is a perpendicular. We know what is the meaning of perpendicular. If there is a straight line, say this line is said to be perpendicular, that means the angle is 90 degree. We know the concept of perpendicular straight lines, right? There is a concept of perpendicular straight lines. So see clearly this angle is 90 degree. So see that LL dash is basically perpendicular. There is a symbol of perpendicular. LL dash is perpendicular on S. S means, what is my S? My S is focus. So LL dash, the straight line is perpendicular on S, means focus. This LL dash is said to be latus rectum. In short, LR, latus rectum. So what is latus rectum? Latus rectum simply a straight line or a chord. Simply a chord or a straight line, but it is perpendicular on focus. If a chord is perpendicular on focus, it is said to be focal chord, and it is latus rectum as well. So see the difference. RR dash is simply a focal chord. RR dash is a focal chord. This is also a focal chord. LL dash is also a focal chord, but it is perpendicular. And since it is perpendicular, it is called latus rectum. So latus rectum is also a focal chord, but it is perpendicular on what? Perpendicular on S, right? Okay. So any focal chord which is perpendicular on focus, it is called latus rectum. So these are some very, very important concept. Okay. So my S, this S point is said to be my focus. My directrix is my fixed line dash. My vertex is a point where the curve meet the axis, meet with axis. It is called my vertex. Okay. So these are some important concept. Now we know that there are three different type of conics. At first, we shall discuss some brief concept. I can repeat brief introduction on first conic. It is parabola. We have done all this thing in our HS course, so we know about it. But in this video, our target is to understand the concept of this curve, so that we can easily solve the questions from these topics. Okay. So in parabola, at first we know that my E is 1. If my ratio is 1, that ratio is 1, it is said to be parabola. Now, what is the diagram of parabola? This is my parabola. We understand the concept of conic by parabola. This is the curve parabola. Actually, this curve should be symmetric. Symmetric means this upper half equal to this lower half. This upper half equal to this lower half. So this is my parabola. See that for this parabola, at this point, this curve meet the axis. That means this point is said to be my vertex. Say this is O, this is 0, 0. Okay, that is my parabola. Equation. What is the equation of the parabola? The equation of the parabola is y square equal to 4ax. That is called equation of the parabola. Y square equal to 4ax. That is my vertex, because at this point, this curve meet the x-axis. That is why it is my vertex. This point is, there is a fixed point. This fixed point is said to be focus of the parabola. This focus of the parabola. Suppose this point is some a comma 0. Obviously, in my x-axis, value of y is 0. Okay. In the x-axis, value of y is 0. There is a basic concept. And suppose this distance is my a. Suppose this is a standard notation. From origin to S, the distance is suppose some a. If this is so, then the coordinate of S is a comma 0, and this is my focus. We know this is my focus. And directrix, that is directrix, this dash. Okay. Now we have discussed all the related concept. Now this will be very, very easy for you. If you understand the previous concept, now it is very, very easy. Conic will be very, very easy for you. After watching this video, okay, you can solve any question from conic. But in this class, we are discussing only theory. In our main class, we shall solve some important questions. Okay, in our main class. This video will help you to clear the concept on conic. That's it. That is my target. So we know that this line is perpendicular on this focus. You can easily see that. This line, if we denote this line by LL dash, this LL dash is my what? Yes, it is my latus rectum. Latus rectum. This LL dash is my latus rectum. Now is a more important concept. What is the coordinate of L and what is the coordinate of L dash? What is coordinate of L and what is coordinate of L dash? Okay. See that for L, my value of x is a, because L and S are perpendicular. See that this point is just above the point S. So this L is perpendicular to S. because LS is perpendicular on this axis. LS is perpendicular on this axis. So if coordinate of S is A, the coordinate of L will also A. Obviously, it's very clear from the diagram. If the coordinate of S is A, then coordinate of L is also A. Because this length are equal. This length is A. Because if this is A, this is also A, because these two lines are parallel. See that? These two lines are parallel. So if this length is my A, this length is also A. That means for L, my value of X is A. Question is, what is the value of Y? What is the value of Y? It cannot be 0, obviously, because there is not my x-axis. We know that on the x-axis, there is my x-axis. On the x-axis, value of Y is 0. And value of X is A. And since you can see that these two lines are parallel, so obviously, if this distance is A, this distance is also A. So for the point L, my value of X is A. Question is, what is the value of Y? For this, consider the equation. The equation is y square equal to 4ax. Here, y square equal to 4 into a into, put the value of x. My value of x is what? My value of x is a. So put the value of x equal to a here. What we are getting? Y square equal to 4a square. Y square equal to 4 into a square. A into a giving you a square. I'm writing here. Y square equal to 4 into a square. Giving you y equal to plus minus 2a. Giving you y equal to plus minus 2a. Just taking square root. So see that my this distance is also a, because this line is parallel to this line. This line is parallel to this line. That means my this length is also a. And see that what is my value of y? My value of y is 2a. So this is my 2a and minus 2a. So this is my minus 2a. Because this position indicate value of y and this position indicate value of x. We know this theory, basic theory. We know this from our school level. So see that after calculation, if we put x equal to a, we are putting x equal to a here. So a into a giving you a square. So my y square become 4a square and my y become plus minus 2a after taking square root. So my value of my coordinate of L is a comma 2a and a comma minus 2a. Okay. In that case, see that if you calculate this distance LL dash, if you calculate this distance LL dash, what will be this distance? What will be this distance? See that this distance is my 2a. This distance is my up to, if we break this distance into two parts, you can see that my this distance is 2a and this distance is also 2a. Why? Because the value of y is 2a in upper half and value of y is 2a in lower half. Okay. See that the value of y is not minus 2a. What is the meaning of minus? Minus denote negative half. That's it. But length cannot be negative. Some student assume that this length is minus 2a. This is wrong. Length cannot be negative. So what is the meaning of this minus sign? The minus sign indicate it is lower half. Lower half means negative half. Because we know that for coordinate axis, there is my positive half and there is my negative half. In this half, my y is negative, and in this half, my y is positive. This is some basic concept. In upper half, my y is positive, and in lower half, my y is negative. So if this value is some 2a, this value is also 2a because these coordinates are 2a. Okay, so this distance is my 2a, this distance is my 2a. Right? I again repeat, minus 2a, minus indicate only negative half. That's it. But the length is 2a. So in lower half, this length is 2a. In upper half, the length is 2a. So what is my total length? LL dash. So my total length, LL dash, is 2a plus 2a, giving you 4a. So see that in parabola, this 4a represent length of latus rectum. So my length of latus rectum is 4a. So in parabola, this 4a represent what? Length of latus rectum. For example, if we are given a parabola like this, y square equal to x. Say, there is a parabola. Clearly, there is a parabola. So here, if you compare with this parabola, what is my value of 4a? See that my value of 4a is 1. If you compare this equation with this equation, clearly my 4a is 1. That means my length of latus rectum is 1. There is my length of latus rectum. Okay, clear? Also, you can see that my a is what? 1 by 4. That means my focus is what? A comma 0. So my S focus will be 1 by 4 comma 0. This is a simple example. So it's a very, very important concept for parabola that we are required in our geometry course. Okay? Say that. And there is a proof. I'm giving you the proof. The length is 4a, but you don't need to remember this proof. Just this concept. Okay, in this concept, we have proved this. Why it is plus 2a and minus 2a. If you want to ignore this proof, you can ignore it. It is only for concept, but just remember my length of latus rectum is what? 4 into a. There is a proof why the length of latus rectum is 4a. But you don't need to understand the proof. It is okay if you just remember my length of latus rectum is 4a. Okay, but there is a shortcut proof. Why it is 4a? I can repeat, my this length is 2a because it is my 2a. My length is lower half is also 2a. 2a. The negative sign does not implies anything. It is only implies it is negative. Negative axis, negative half of y, negative part of y. So there is 2a, there is 2a. So giving you total length LL dash 2a plus 2a 4a. So 4a is my length of latus rectum, and there is the proof of length of latus rectum. But you can ignore this proof. So there is some important concept on parabola. If E is equal to 1, it is said to be parabola. Correct? So there is a form of parabola. Now, parabola, there are so many form of parabola. Second form of parabola, but the concept is same. Second form of parabola is y square equal to minus 4x. Here, instead of plus sign, we are taking minus sign. All the concepts are same. Concepts are totally same. This will be diagram of the parabola. This will be my diagram of parabola. Yeah, this is my vertex. There is my vertex V. There is my focus. There is my focus. Okay, but see that now here my x is negative, so this length will be minus a comma 0. But I again repeat, minus only indicate negative half of x-axis, but the length is a. This length is a. Here minus sign indicate the negative direction. The negative direction, because for x-axis there is my positive direction, there is my negative direction. So this length is a, but since it is negative direction, there is minus a comma 0. And this is my latus rectum. And this length is again 4a. This length is again 4a. Here my length of latus rectum, LL dash is 4a. So nothing is changed. Here direction will be here. Directress, sorry, there is my directress. Directress is what? That's fixed line. That fixed line from which the conic is generated. So there is my directress again. So there is structure of parabola. All the concepts are same, totally same. These are some different form of the parabola. You can just pause the video and copy it. Just pause the video and copy it. My third form of parabola is x square equal to 4ay. X square equal to 4ay. So x square equal to 4ay. What is the diagram of the parabola? X square equal to 4ay. Here the parabola is totally this. Okay. Here the parabola is totally on y-axis. In the two in our two previous cases, the parabola on the entire x-axis, but now the parabola is entire y-axis. But concept is totally same. Here focus is what? It is my vertex. We know there is my vertex. This point S. This point S. S is called what? This point S is said to be my focus. This point S is said to be my focus. And the focus is what? 0, a. Because on the y-axis, your value of x is 0. We know that on y-axis, the value of x is always 0. So here my value of x is 0 and my value of y is a. So concept is again same. And This is my latus rectum. This is my latus rectum, LL dash. Because latus rectum is always perpendicular on focus. There is my latus rectum 4a. And the last shape of parabola is x square equal to minus 4ay. Okay, you can easily understand what is the corresponding diagram. The corresponding diagram is this. This is my corresponding diagram. Here the focus is here. This is my vertex. And all the concepts are same. Okay. So my vertex is here also at 0, 0. My vertex is at 0, 0. My vertex is at 0, 0. So these are the important concept on parabola. In this video, actually, our target is to understand the concept of the different conic. So there is some important concept on conic. Now, the second conic is ellipse. My second concept on the conic is ellipse. We know that ellipse is a conic where the ratio SP by PM, this ratio equal to E, and E is my less than 1. E is my less than 1. There is a, okay, ellipse. Now, what is the diagram of ellipse? My diagram of ellipse is what? Diagram. Look at the diagram of the ellipse. Diagram of ellipse is, it's like oval shape. It's an oval shape, not a circle. Looks like a circle, but not exactly a circle. Oval shaped curve. Oval shaped curve. A closed curve. A closed curve. See that? Closed. Okay, a closed curve. There is my ellipse. Now, what is the main point of this ellipse? Say that. First of all, we know that the point where the curve meet the x-axis is called vertex. We know this. Point where the curves meet the axis is called my vertex. So here there are two vertex. See that there are two vertex. Okay, there are two vertex. Say this is my A and this is my A dash. But parabola has only one vertex. But ellipse has two vertex. It has two vertex. Two vertex as a whole is called vertices. Two vertex as a whole, it's called vertices. It is simply a plural form. Ignore the English, just remember this vertex. Ignore the English term, just remember this vertex. So this is my one vertex, this is my another vertex. Clear? And do we know? Okay, and do we know what is the vertex? This distance we know is A. Okay, here for vertex, this distance will be A. So there are two vertices. One is A0 and there is my minus A0. Just like focus of the parabola, here the distance between this point, origin and this vertex is A. Okay, origin and the vertex is A. So there is my A comma 0 and there is my minus A comma 0. That means my this length is A from this point O to A. O to A, O to A, my this length. O to A, my this length is small a, and O to A dash, this length is also A. I again repeat, there is a minus sign, but ignore the minus sign. Minus sign has no importance here. So my vertices, one vertices is A comma 0, and another is A dash minus A comma 0. All right. So what is my total length? See that the total length A to A dash, this total length, this here it is A, here it is also A plus A, it is called 2A. A dash, it is called 2A. Okay. So there is a structure of ellipse and there is my vertices. This length is A. Right. Now focus. Now there is the focus S. See that the ellipse has two focus. The ellipse has two different focus. There are two focus for ellipse. One focus is my S and another focus is my S dash. So two focus as a whole is said to be foci. Two focus as a whole is said to be foci. So ellipse has two different foci. There is the first focus, there is the second focus. As a whole, these are said to be foci. Now, what is the coordinate of this focus? First of all, see that for ellipse, my E is less than 1. Okay? My E is less than 1. So, the focus, their coordinates are AE, comma 0, A into E, comma 0, and minus AE, comma 0. A into E, comma 0, and minus AE, comma 0. You can, obviously, my AE is less than A. Why? Because my E is less than 1. For example, suppose my A is say 2 and my E is less than 1, na? Say E equal to half. Say. In that case, my A into E will be 2 into half. That means 1. And my A is 2. To clearly see that my A is less than A. That is why this A is inside this portion, not outside. Because this A length, this is my length A. See that? This is the length of A. Clearly, this length A is less than this length A. This is my length A. Recall, this is my length A. This entire length is basically length A, but this short length is called AE. So clearly, my AE is less than A because my E is less than 1. So this A, since A into E less than A, my AE will be inside this ellipse. If A is greater than A, then AE will be outside this ellipse. But since E is less than 1, you don't need to consider that case. Okay, that case will be under hyperbola. Because hyperbola, E is greater than 1. And in that case, my A is also greater than A. My A into E will be also greater than A. Because for hyperbola, E is greater than 1. But since in ellipse, my E is less than 1, I'm giving an example. From this example, you can easily understand that my AE length is less than A. So my AE will be inside the ellipse. Because this length is my A and this length will be my AE. So this is my AE. Okay, right? And this length is also AE. But since in negative direction, there is a minus sign. Minus sign indicate negative direction. Okay. Clear? Now, important concept. Okay, so there is a brief introduction. Major axis. Major axis. What is major axis? Major axis is the axis which passes through focus. Major axis, it is axis which passes through the focus. Okay, axis which passes through the focus. See that this axis, suppose it is my x-axis. Here, see that is my A dash. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so major axis what? The axis which passes through the focus. See that here, this is my axis. This x-axis passes to the focus S and S dash. So this x-axis it will be my major axis. This x-axis it will be my major axis. So here the major axis what? A dash. A dash. This entire axis is called major axis. Major axis. Okay. Major axis. And what is the length of this major axis? Its length is equal to what? This is A. This is also A. a plus a to a. Because this length is a, this length is also a, giving you a plus a equal to 2a. Because it is a, it is also a plus a giving you 2a. So 2a is the length of major axis. Okay. Now consider this point as some c, c dash. Clearly c dash, okay, c dash is perpendicular on major axis. You can easily see that. C dash is perpendicular to this major axis. Right? Clearly, CC dash, I'm writing here. CC dash is perpendicular. This symbol of perpendicular. Perpendicular on major axis. CC dash is perpendicular on major axis. So since it is perpendicular on major axis, it is called minor axis. So what is my minor axis? Minor axis is an axis which is perpendicular to major axis. Which is perpendicular to major axis. Okay. Suppose the coordinate of C is 0, B, standard notation, and coordinates of C dash is 0, minus B. Say. It means what? Okay, if we draw the diagram again. We understand all the concept on my major axis for minor axis. Suppose there is my ellipse. This is the point C dash. C is my 0, B. C dash is my 0, minus B. Because that means this length is my B. This length is also B. Again, ignore the minus sign. Minus indicate negative direction. So what is the length of CC dash? Length of CC dash is B plus B. It is 2B. 2B. Length of this minor axis is 2B. So finally, this is my A, 0, capital A, 0. This is my A dash 0, minus A. So this is my major axis and this is my minor axis. This is my focus. This is my focus. Okay. In that case, my equation of the ellipse. What is my equation of ellipse? My equation of ellipse is x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. Where what is A? A is coordinate of vertex. What is B? B is coordinate of C and C dash. That means minor axis. Okay, done. And these are my point S and S dash. Now, how does ellipse represents a conic? There is the equation of the conic. This A, there is my A, and there is my B. Now, how does this represent this ellipse represents a conic? See that for this, just pause the video and copy all the things, all the previous things. See that this is my ellipse. I can repeat, if you find any doubt, then just ask me in my YouTube channel or in my WhatsApp group. Okay? Don't hesitate to ask anything. So there is another match. Okay, now the concept is, how does this ellipse represents a conic? See that this is focus S A, 0, and this is my S dash minus A, 0. Basically, conic property represent on focus. Conic property. Why it is a conic? It depends on focus. See that. Say this is my directrix, that fixed straight line. That is another directrix. Because ellipse has two focus means foci. So there are two directrices. Okay, there are two directrices. So here also you can see that if we take a point P here, we can see that the distance SP and the distance PM, SP by PM, this ratio will be always less than 1. Always less than 1. Say always, say this ratio is 0.2. Less than 1. In that case, we say that this is a conic. There is a conic. Here also, you can take all from this point as well. There is my SP, there is my PM. Whatever be the point of P, P point can be here. In that case, my SP will be this, my PM will be PQ. These are my PQ points. Sorry, Q. If we fix Q here, there is my SP. If P point lie here, there is my SP, there is my PQ. You can see that SP by, sorry, PQ, to my PQ. If we take a point Q here, so you can always see that SP by PQ is always less than 1. You can also take from this direction as well, because there is my another directress, my MM dash, my MM dash. Here also you can see that this say here, if we consider here, if we consider this directress, you can take this directress or this directress, whatever you want. If we take this directress, suppose this is my point P, then this will be my SP, this will be my SP. Say we have a point Q here, this will be my PQ, You can see that SP by PQ, this ratio is always same. Is always same. Whatever be the position of P, P can lie here. In that case, this will be my SP, this will be my PQ, this will be my PQ. So this ratio is always same, say 0.2, because it is less than 1. So it doesn't matter whether we are taking directives here or directives here. You shall always get the same answer. Okay? Your SP by PM, whatever P can lie here. In that case, this will be my SP, this will be my SP, and this will be my PQ. SP by PQ. So whatever be the position of P, this ratio will always same. So there is the concept of ellipse. So for summary, major axis of ellipse, there is my, if there is A dash, my major axis of ellipse is A dash, whose length is 2A, where coordinate of A is A0, coordinate of A dash is minus A, 0. Minor axis, we know what is minor axis. Minor axis is the axis which is perpendicular to major axis. There is my minor axis, CC dash. My C is 0, B. My C dash is 0, minus B. So that the length of the minor axis, this length of the minor axis, CC dash is 2B. Okay. Major axis, minor axis. And then my, yes, right, my vertices. There is summary. My vertices, my first vertex is capital A, which is A, 0. My second vertex is minus A, 0. So as a whole, these are called vertices. And the last thing, my foci, my first focus is AE, 0. And since E is less than 1, AE lies inside, because AE is less than A. So obviously, if this length is your A, AE will be inside this. Okay? That means if we draw the final diagram, there is my final diagram. This is my vertex A0, another vertex minus A0. There is my focus AE, 0. There is my minus AE, 0. And there is my minor axis CC dash. And there is my major, this is my minor axis. This is my minor axis. There is my major axis. And the point O, lastly, okay, this is vertices. And I can repeat, the foci E is less than 1. So A is less than A. So my focus will be inside the ellipse. Similarly, here A will be inside the ellipse. So my focus are, these are my foci. And the last thing, O, the point O is called center of the ellipse. Center of the ellipse, center. Okay, center of the ellipse. And finally, just pause the video and write all this thing. And the last thing, if we interchange the minor and major axis, that means if we draw the diagram of ellipse like this, see that we are just interchanging my major and minor axis. In that case, the equation of the ellipse will be, yeah, this will be b square. This will be my equation of this ellipse. Because here major and minor axis, or you can also write this as, you can also write this like this. In this diagram, you can also consider like this: x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. Here, my a is greater than b. This is another trick. Here, a is greater than b. That means my length of major axis is greater than my length of minor axis. Length of major axis is greater than length of minor axis. And here, the diagram will be x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1. Here, a is less than b. You can consider like this. Okay? Or you can interchange between a square and b square. X square by b square plus y square by a square equal to 1. Sometimes we write like this. But here, a is less than b. So this will be my diagram of the, okay, ellipse. So in this case, okay, right? In this case, my length of minor axis is again 2b, length of major axis is also 2a. So all the things are same. All the remaining things are same. There is no change in the diagram, just some, but focus. Focus, you can say that my focus will be different. Here, the focus, okay, you can change. Here, these are my focus. These are my focus. There is my S and this is my S dash. These are my focus, and their coordinates will be 0, comma b into e, and the S dash, that will be 0, comma minus b. Just interchanging between a and b. This will be my 0, comma b and 0, comma minus b. Okay. So and if you look at this diagram, you can see that these points, and so what is my, and there is my center, and what is my vertex? See that here, when okay, and what is my major axis? There is my major axis. Why there is my major axis? Because you know major axis always passes through focus. Remember, always remember this thing. Major axis always passes to the focus. Okay, major axis always passes to the focus. So here, this is my major axis. Why there is major axis? It passes to the focus. So this will be my minor axis. This will be my minor axis. All the remaining things are same. So there is a brief introduction on conic, and in my second video, I shall discuss hyperbola. Only one thing is left. It is my hyperbola. In my next video, I shall discuss everything about hyperbola. Otherwise, the video will be too long. Okay. So just watch this video, and if you have any concept, if you have any doubt from concept, you can ask me in my WhatsApp group or my YouTube channel. Okay. So there is everything for my today's class. See you in my next class. Till then, bye bye.